Hello and welcome to V News Daily Bulletin. Coming up next, we have your top stories.
President Trần Đại Quang meets French and Indian defense ministers. Ho Chi Minh City draws $650 million in FDI. Thừa Thiên Huế welcomes 1.42 million tourists in 5 months.
President Trần Đại Quang met with French Minister of Defense Jean-Yves Le Drian, who is on a visit to Vietnam.
At the reception on June 6th, President Quang reiterated Vietnam's consistent policy of considering France as a top priority partner in its external relations policy. The President asked the French government to soon ratify the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement, facilitating economic, trade and investment cooperation. He asked the two defense ministries to further collaboration, especially in military, production of military equipment, strengthening information exchange and collaborating in multilateral forums. Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian said his visit is to strengthen bilateral ties in defense and security and the strategic partnership between Vietnam and France that was set up in 2013. He added his visit is part of preparations for President François Hollande's trip to Vietnam in September. According to the minister, during President Hollande's visit, the Vietnamese and French defense ministries are expected to sign several technical agreements.
On June 6, top Vietnamese state and government leaders met Indian Minister of Defense Manohar Parrikar, who is on a visit to Vietnam.
At the reception, President Trần Đại Quang affirmed the Vietnamese people always highly value India's sentiments and its significant support to Vietnam, particularly in national defense cooperation, human resource development, and the sharing of high technologies and materials. The state president concurred that the two countries' increasing national defense cooperation is an important pillar in strengthening trust between the two sides' strategic partnership. He also stressed that it is Vietnam's consistent policy to always value India as its traditional friend and leading partner. For his part, Minister Manohar Parrikar said the Vietnamese and Indian defense ministries have discussed many issues on national defense cooperation, among others. He also expressed his belief that strategic partnership between the two countries will see mutually expected results. Welcoming Minister Parrikar, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc emphasized the Vietnamese government's support of India's Look East policies. He asked that the two defense ministries continue to boost cooperation, not only in traditional fields, but also in new areas, specifically the training of new officers, contributing to sustainable ties between the two countries. Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar affirmed the Indian government always values its relations with Vietnam and wishes to further strengthen comprehensive ties. The minister reported on the successful meeting with his Vietnamese counterpart and stated that both sides have reached many mutual cooperation agreements, especially in human resource training.
As part of its visit to France from June 4 to 6, a delegation of the Communist Party of Vietnam, led by Politburo member, Secretary of the Party Central Committee, and head of the committee's Organization Commission, Phạm Minh Chính, had working sessions with leaders of the host country.
During the meetings with Secretary General of the Ministry of Interior, Denis Corbin, Minister of State for State Reform and Simplification, Jean-Vincent Plas, and Governor and President of the Val-de-Marne General Council, Christian Favier, the two sides recognize positive cooperation between Vietnamese and French localities, businesses, and agencies. They agreed to bolster cooperative ties and prepare for the planned Vietnam visit in September by French President François Hollande. The French officials shared experience in administrative reform, simplification of administrative procedures, and application of information technology in the field, as well as high-level official training, distance training, and public policy. Ching informs the French partners of recent tensions in the East Sea and Vietnam's stance on the settlement of disputes. He also briefs them on the achievements made by the Vietnamese party and people over 30 years of reform, along with current difficulties and challenges. On the sidelines of the 37th Congress of the French Communist Party, the Vietnamese delegates met with international friends to inform them of the outcome of the 12th National Party Congress and discuss cooperation directions for the coming time. Vietnam also invited countries to participate in the 18th International Meeting of Communist and Workers' Parties slated for October this year.
Ho Chi Minh City is willing to boost cooperation and long-term investment with New Zealand. Secretary of the Municipal Party Committee Ding La Thang made the remark when meeting New Zealand Economic Development Minister Stephen Joyce on June 6.
Thang said a direct flight connecting the Southern Hub and Auckland, operated by Air New Zealand, which begins operating this June, serves to underpin bilateral cooperation across sectors such as trade, tourism, and education. He added, apart from affiliations in traditional fields, the city is hoping to receive New Zealand's support and advice in the management of food safety, which has been among the local pressing issues. Joyce, who is also Minister of Science and Innovation and Tertiary Education, Skill and Employment, said he wants the ties between two countries and two cities to move onwards and upwards in a number of potential sectors, including education, information technology, agriculture, and tourism. He noted New Zealand is looking to reinforce bilateral IT links while offering more opportunities for Ho Chi Minh City students and officials to attend training courses in the country.
Vietnam spent $195 million on importing 12,000 completely built-up cars in May, an increase of 33% in quantity compared to April and 12% against the same period last year.
According to the General Statistics Office, the number of imported cars in the first 5 months of this year was 41,000 units, worth a total $927 million. Auto traders said car imports increased sharply as consumers wanted to buy cars before government tax hikes on imported automobiles come into effect. Under the new tax, which will apply from January 1st next year, tax levels of 55%, 90%, 130 to 150% will be levied on cars with a cylinder capacity of 2.5 liters, 3 liters, 4 to 6 liters respectively. Currently, 2.5-liter cars are taxed at 50%, while 3-liter and 4 to 6-liter cars are both taxed at 60%. The tax changes will increase the price of some cars by tens of thousands of US dollars.
The flow of foreign direct investment into the southern largest economic hub of Ho Chi Minh City has fallen 38% to $650 million in the first 5 months of 2016. More details in the following report. The Municipal Statistics Office announced that nearly 280 FDI projects were awarded investment certificates worth a total of $482 million. Some 48 projects had value added with a capital of $166 million. The amount of total FDI flow dropped by $408 million from the same period last year. Cayman Islands topped the list of foreign investors, accounting for 47.9%, with 4 projects worth over $230 million. The Ho Chi Minh City Export Processing and Industrial Zones Authority said the city had no new big projects in the garment and textile sector, which had caused FDI figures to fall. In other sectors, no new projects worth $50 million or more have begun this year. Most of the projects were invested in the sectors of real estate, finance, and telecommunications. FDI poured into Ho Chi Minh City, however, was expected to increase at the end of this year. Dong Nai Province, one of the industrial hubs in southern Vietnam, is likely to attract double the targeted $1 billion foreign direct investment this year.
As of May 31st, total FDI had reached $883 million, including $332 million in 50 new projects, and the remaining added to 38 existing ones. The province has so far drawn more than 1,600 foreign investor projects, capitalized at nearly $29 billion, mostly from Japan, the Republic of Korea, and Taiwan, China, specializing in support industry, electronics, and high technology. The positive FDI attraction is attributed to the province's location in the southern key economic zone and its access to national highways 1A, 51, 22, and the Ho Chi Minh City Long Thanh Dau Giay Expressway and North-South Railway. The ongoing construction of the Bien Look Long Thanh Highway and Long Thanh Airport and other transport routes is also an advantage to attracting FDI. It is also thanks to the administrative reforms that haven't taken place, including the application of the National Single Window Mechanism. The province has increased investment promotion in many countries, particularly in Japan.
Exports of Vietnamese seafood products to the Republic of Korea are expected to increase strongly this year after the bilateral free trade agreement took effect last December. More in the following.
Under the agreement, the Republic of Korea has committed to clear taxes for 10,000 metric tons of Vietnamese shrimp in the first year and 15,000 metric tons in the next 5 years. According to the Korea Fishery Trade Association, shrimp was the favorite seafood item in the country, alongside with tilapia and pangasius. Vietnam earned $588 million from seafood exports to the Republic of Korea last year, with revenue from shrimp accounting for $250 million. The main seafood items that Vietnam exported to the Republic of Korea are shrimp, octopus, squid, pangasius, and other fish. The Republic of Korea imported 77,000 metric tons of shrimp in 2015, with Vietnam being the largest supplier of 30,000 metric tons. Vietnam raked in $95.5 million from seafood exports to the Republic of Korea in the first 2 months of 2016, a year-on-year increase of 7.4%.
The central province of Thừa Thiên Huế welcomed more than 1.42 million tourists, including nearly 500,000 foreigners, in the first 5 months of this year. The tourism sector generated 1.31 trillion Vietnam dong, equivalent to $57 million in revenue, up 8.34% against the same period last year. During the Huế Festival held from April 29th to May 4th alone, the province greeted over 250,000 visitors, 68,200 of whom were from abroad, representing year-on-year increases of 23% and 5% respectively. In a bid to attract more holidaymakers, the province will continue implementing a series of measures such as improving state management in tourism, as well as boosting tourism promotion campaigns and introducing new tours of rivers, lagoons, and traditional craft villages. Recently, Thừa Thiên Huế has focused on promoting ecotourism sites in Phú Lộc, Nam Dong, and A Lưới districts with the aim to redeem the sag in sea tourism, which was badly affected by the recent massive fish death incident. This year, the province set a target of welcoming 3.2 to 3.5 million tourists and earning revenue of 143 to 152 million from tourism services. And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thanks for tuning in. For more information, please log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. We'll see you soon.